this is actually a comment on one of my videos. And basically this listener asked or said that they worked for a nonprofit for 20 years. We didn't have a retirement plan until the last 5 years. I've just retired at age 66 and I don't have a lot to live on. I'm considering taking out my small 403b savings. What are my best options? And so for looking at options to get money out of the 403b, you really got 3 to 4 options that you can do. So option 1 is lump sum, which is you just take it all out. So if you have, $5,000 in the account, you just withdraw it out just like a bank account. You take it out. If it's pre-tax, you're going to pay taxes on all of it. If it's Roth and you met the requirements, then it comes out tax-free. So before you take a lump sum, you understand what the tax impact is going to be to see if it's going to make sense or not. So that's option 1 is lump sum. That's something that I would never ever do unless it's like some dire emergency situation, or if the account really was just, it's real small and you had a purpose for that money. You're not taking out just because you had a purpose to take it out for. So that's option 1, which is lump sum withdrawal. Option 2 is periodic withdrawals. So that's when you basically set up a payment plan. So you're saying, hey, I'm going to take $100 a month out, or whatever it is you want. So you're just setting up monthly recurring distributions from the 403b account. So that's another way you can do it. It's pretty common. But honestly, 403b accounts, they're built for growth. They're meant for you to save into. They're not the best for distributing. So while they can do it, there are certain tax advantages that IRAs have and just ease of access that are offered to IRAs that aren't in the 403b space. So option 3 is usually what I recommend doing, is just rolling over to an IRA. So if we have a small 403b account, you just move that into your own IRA or individual retirement account. Once it's in there, an IRA, it's a lot easier to access your money. Because in the 403b space, to get money out making changes, sometimes you got to fill out paper forms, not on the computer. You actually have to have a physical paper form in some cases, and you need TPA approval. In other words, even though you retired and left, if you wanted to take money out or changes, sometimes you may have to ask your old employer to approve it, which seems crazy because you don't work for them anymore. But that's when you're in that type of employer-sponsored account, they have those restrictions on there. So getting out of that, you remove that barrier. So it's a lot easier to access your money. Most things are going to be done online, and it just makes it so much easier. Of course, once you're in an IRA, it's still your money. So if you want to take a lump sum from that point, you could very easily. If you want to set up monthly payments at that point forward, you could do that as well. Now, in this person's case, if they are real low income and they're not sure what they need the money for, they might consider using an income annuity. So if this amount is small, they don't already have much of anything, and they really need cash flow, that's like their biggest thing. The amount you're going to get in cash flow from taking the safe withdrawal rate, 4 or 5%, may not be enough to sustain it. You still might run out of money, especially in situations like this. In my experience, someone that's low income, they might trace down budget, but it's just a matter of time before something happens. You need to replace a tire, fix your car, some kind of medical bill comes up, whatever it is. There's always something that's going to come up that's going to exceed your budget, and you need to dip into this type of account. And so it may not last as long as you think, or if you try to manage on yourself. So an income annuity might be helpful in this case, and the fact that all you're doing is turning that 403b into another guaranteed income stream. You turn it into just like another pension or Social Security check. So if they had a small account, and small is relative. I've seen some people say 403bs are small at $1,000, and I've seen people call $40,000 403b small. So it depends on people's situation, what they consider small or not. But if you had a small amount in a 403b and you really wanted to make it last, like for sure, like I don't want to ever run out, income annuity could be an option for you. You put the money in, they're going to give you a certain percentage out every single month. So if they said, hey, the rate for 766 is currently 6.5%, they're getting 6.5% of wherever they put into it. So if that lady were to put in $10,000 into it, she gets $650 out every single year, which isn't much. I'm talking, a little over $50 a month, but it just gives you that guaranteed aspect so that you wouldn't run the risk of running out. You wouldn't be tempted to pull money out ahead of time. Of course, you wouldn't want to do this if you really did need the money for extra expenses or one-offs. This is just someone that, if their expenses were fairly normal, they had some in savings, but they wanted to make this money last, that's usually when income annuities will come into play. So it's just something to consider. It's something that an advisor should go over with them before diving into it. Those are all the different options that this person would have. As far as best is always subjective. who knows what's going to be better for someone unless you meet with them. So I don't know if lump sum is going to be better than the income annuity. I don't know if leaving the 403 is going to be better than pulling out into the IRA. It all depends on that person's situation, which is why it's important to have an advisor that you can actually work and meet with, and not just take blanket advice off YouTube videos or podcasts and think it's going to work out for you, or just assume that's your best bet. Until you have an expert look at your situation and give you the personalized recommendation, you're never really going to know what's best. And even in that case, most people have biases, and what I think is best is going to be completely different than what another advisor thinks is best. So you got to take advice with a grain of salt and just kind of trust your gut and see, who you trust and what makes the most sense for you. Make sure you're joining the free school community for future courses. And until next time, remember that your future depends on what you do today.